Okay, we are live. I'm upside down. Okay, we're on, and we're the only ones here. Nope, someone else is joining us. Can you move over just a touch, please? Okay. Okay. It says there's 6 people here, so hi, whoever. Say hello. And we'll get things started here today in a couple of seconds. Drink of the day, our Virgin Caesars. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. And Carol's here. Hi, Carol. And for hors d'oeuvres, we are having hummus, baba ganoush, and tzatziki with...
Bootsy Sweethearts is here.
Oh, hi,
Still
Roy.
groggy from the required Sunday afternoon nap.
Oh. A little groggy, are you, Roy? Or, yeah, Roy. And Julie's here. Hi, Julie. And Andy. Hi, Andy. Okay, so we'll get to it because today it's all about you. But before we get into that part of it, let's just do a quickie review of what's been going on. Hi, Mel. So we are drinking, as I said, Virgin Caesars. And Virginia's here. Hello, Virginia. And you might wonder why we're drinking Virgin Caesars. Well, we've decided we drink too much. And, well, it doesn't hurt to cut back. Of course, having said that, we just bought 2 cases of wine today at the liquor store. But we're trying to cut back a little bit on that because Walter's got a little problem. He went to the doctor this week for blood analysis, and the doctor told you what? Or the specialist told you?
I wondered if, just Sirs asked me about my drinking habits and suggested I try to cut back a little bit.
Well,
not that I drank too much, but it's just,
no, we're not alcoholics or anything.
But
we probably could stand to drink a little bit less. We usually only drink on the weekends, and it's just wine more than anything. But we do have a tendency to end up, drinking a bottle of wine each a night. Well, not every night,
on the weekend.
Just on weekends. So we're holding back on that. And so thus, these are
I figure
Virgin
it
Caesars.
can't hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can't hurt. Plus, on top of it all, too, help you to lose some weight. Because actually, you can put on the calories really quick, with whatever you're drinking. I mean, a glass of wine has anywhere from between 100 to 120 calories in a small glass. And my glasses are not small, so it can't hurt. Okay, so, mom update. She's fine, I guess. Whatever. Nothing really new there. Yeah, no drama this week. So, that's good.
I decided to put on a long sleeve shirt because it's kind of cool in here. I had short sleeve shirts on before.
Oh, he says, usually, Mel says, seems you boys have changed shirts. It's Walter who's usually wearing black. My shirt's actually navy blue, but I guess under this light it does look black. Oh, and speaking of weird things on video, I don't know how many of you have been affected, but in Canada, this last 2 days, from coast to coast, we've had a problem with Bell. Bell is our internet and television, a major provider, and it basically went down. We had absolutely no internet service yesterday for the whole day. And in fact, we went out last night, and we'll talk about where we went. I've got the hiccups suddenly. Where we went, and at about before 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday, it went down, and it only came up when we got home about a little after 11 last night. I got the hiccups. Look at me, scared. Oh, okay, they're done.
And even that, there was still some problems with the internet.
Yeah, and
Well, even today.
so there's a possibility that something could go weird today on this. We hope not, but it could happen. So, yeah, last night we went to something called RMG Exposed. That's our art gallery, and every year they have this major fundraiser where they auction off photography, framed, one of a kind of things, pictures of landscapes or whatever, everything, and that's their major fundraiser for the year. They usually make a lot of money at this, and it's a paid event, meaning that people have to buy tickets to go to it, and they have an open bar. Well, we were hired. We actually are getting paid for last night. We were hired to do whatever needed to be done. Pick up dishes, pick up glasses, as people went through them, that kind of stuff, move furniture, whatever. So we were there for about 5.5 hours doing all this stuff, and I'm as sore as heck because I was up and down stairs and pushing carts around, and we were lugging things.
Carrying trays of glasses around.
Yeah, and started the night off really well, getting the bar area set up, and somebody had taken all the fluted glasses, which were meant for the champagne, sparkling wine, or sparkling cider that they were dishing out as people came in, and they had them all set up on this table. Well, there was a big box of glasses, several big boxes of glasses that we put underneath this table. The table's covered in a black tablecloth, so you can't see underneath it. And that's sort of where we store the clean glasses, so as we need them, we pull them up from under that table. Well, I didn't realize they had packed 2 of these boxes on top of this little tiny cart that had wheels. I couldn't see the cart. So I grabbed one of the boxes to put it underneath the table, and when I did that, my foot hit the cart swung out, I lost my balance, I had a big box of glasses in my hand, I was trying not to break those, and the edge of the box hit the fluted glasses set up on the table, and it was like a domino effect. They all started to go, and as they were going, they got close to the end, and some of them did break. I think of only about 3, but one of the other people that was nearby, she came running over and put her hands over them as well because I lost my balance completely, and I wrecked my knee in the meantime because somehow I hit it. Same one that I wrecked about back in the summer, if you remember, when we went to Toronto, and I was in our friend's boat and didn't realize that there's more than one step on the little ladder and hit the ground. Well, I just got that also cleared up finally, and now I'm buggered again. Not as bad as that, but it's sore. So yeah, klutz night. So we worked it last night, and it was good. We were pretty exhausted.
Yeah, it was busy.
It was real. Oh, people are such pigs at these things. They paid, if they were a member of the art gallery, they paid $40 for a ticket. If they were $35. If they were a non-member, they paid $40. But it was an open bar. Now, it just had wine and beer. But boy, we went through a lot of glasses. They sold 120 tickets.
Yeah, people weren't reusing their glasses.
No.
They dumped them, and then go out to the bar and get a new glass. And it was like we went through a ton of
more than I've ever seen go through when I work bar on what they call RMG Fridays sometimes, which is their once a month thing. You've heard me talk about it before. We don't
plus
that many glasses.
People that were drinking beer wanted a glass too.
Yeah.
So normally at a regular event,
they just drink it from the
bottle or the can. But
well, I guess
they felt like we were a little bit more.
Yeah. And there was food. Like they had it all catered. They had like finger foods and stuff like that. But I guess they were quite like piggies at the trough. Just inhaled everything. And they were coming up and getting more drinks. And at the point when we were closing the bar was closed. 2 women came up and decided they wanted another glass of wine. And we told them, well, you tell us.
Yeah, well, actually, I was there with Stephanie, which is the one of the other bartenders. And they came up and they said, well, the bar's gone. Like, it's a portable bar, right? And we said, yeah, well, it was 10 o'clock. The event closed at 10. And we said the bar's closed. And they said, well, you can just get us another glass of wine. You can you still have some stored in the back, don't you? And we're going, no, the bar is closed.
Yeah, what
And
part
they
of
were
closed don't
quite
you understand?
insistent that we get them a glass of wine, and we said, sorry, the bar is closed. It's 10 o'clock. Sorry, it's time for you to go.
Yeah,
But they wouldn't. They didn't want to take no for an answer. Well, it's too bad.
yeah, too bad. That's right. Those are the rules. So, anyways, and I don't think they need it anymore. Anyways.
No, I don't think they did either.
Hi, Bonnie. So, who have we got here? Said Virginia. Oh, Anita's here. Hi, Anita. And Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. So, yeah, so it was an interesting evening, but somebody told us when we were going out, I said, so, how'd they do? Because it's all auction and that. They didn't think they had done as well as last year. So I don't know. Only one bid went over $1,000 on
But
something, but
I think they were a little spoiled from the last couple of years because they had a couple of. Actually, I didn't find that the photographic art this time was as interesting as previous years, and especially the ones that they had go up for auction that you bid on. They're usually the more. They were a little bit more elaborate or whatever, and they also were framed too, right?
yeah.
And I didn't think they were quite as nice as the previous years.
No. Well,
As interesting.
last year was a big puller because the official photographer for the Tragically Hip, which you may or may not heard of, was a huge musical group, rock group here in Canada. They came from Kingston, Ontario, not that far from us actually. He was there and he had donated one of his, exclusive shots of the group. And that went for a lot of money. He also emceed, well, he emceed this year too, didn't he? And he
Yeah.
emceed last year. So it was a bit of a crowd drawer last year. This
And
year,
the year before, actually. The
Yeah,
year
that's right,
before
he
was
did.
but then they had another photograph last year. Plus, they had that great. Was it last year or the year before? Oh, they had a couple of really other popular prints that were fairly rare
yeah.
last year, and I don't think they had that this year. So
It looked like they didn't have as many pieces, what I could see.
No.
I wasn't paying much attention.
no, they still
but
had
did they?
pretty much the same, but it was. I didn't think that the ones that they were auctioning off were as rare as the previous years. So I don't think it had the same appeal.
No. Well, the other thing that I think they did themselves some dirt on this year is last year the admission price, the ticket prices were $60 for non-members, $50 for members. This year it was $40 and $35. I don't know why they dropped the price.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Because this is real. This is how they fund the art gallery.
And see, the liquor that was served and the food that was served was donated. So
Yeah. And it usually is. I felt sorry for the poor kid that was working bar, though. He's a college student. He didn't get any tips because all the tips were going back to the art gallery, which I thought was a little unfair. Yeah, I know it's a fundraiser, but this kid he's a student. And they do pay him, but they only pay him minimum wage, so he gets $14 an hour.
actually, they were. He even said, "Oh, well, he was counting the cash out." And he says he was going to split it 4 ways between us and.
Oh, he's a nice guy. He
Yeah.
seemed like a really nice kid, young man. Well, I didn't expect to get any tips. Well, we didn't get any tips, but I mean,
No.
I didn't know what was going. Well, I think that was kind of cold, but anyways. So, what's people saying? Can you believe it? And it says it's currently 63 degrees Fahrenheit here, and Monday we're getting snow.
We're supposed to be getting snow tonight. We had snow earlier this week.
Yeah, we had snow. It came, first of the week? And it lasted all week, actually, which was kind of amazing because it wasn't that much snow that fell, and the ground is still warm. So usually, It's gone, but it hasn't been that cold. I think what it was averaging around -1 or 0 or something like that. That's Celsius. Um, so really, but right now we don't have any snow. But what, tonight it's supposed to snow again?
Yeah, supposedly.
Welcome to Canada in winter, and it's only the fall. Um, yeah, Bonnie says, I agree with you regarding the tips. He should have received the tips. Yeah. Well, you'd have to understand this art gallery. Um, and tomorrow I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about this in my vlog, but they're very snobby. They think the art gallery in our town is like the bee's knees. It's a nice art gallery. It's not a big art gallery. Yes, they get grants from various foundations that they have to write for all the time. They get very little assistance from the local government or from any of the other levels of government. So, yeah, they're working on a shoestring budget. I mean, the art gallery is free. People can come and go as they please. There's no admission. There's a donation thing if you want to make a donation, but probably don't get a lot out of that. And they run programs, and they have some programs that are paid programs and things like that. But really, they got a staff they have to pay, and they probably don't pay them a lot. They don't have a huge staff. And they operate basically with a lot of volunteers. So, yeah, but I mean, this kid is making $14 an hour, so he made about $70 last night if he worked about 5.5 hours. So whoop-de-doo. He could have made it probably, I don't know how much was in that tip jar.
It was about $80.
So yeah, I was going to say he could probably have made another $100 from that. And really, in the big scheme of things, if there was $80 tips in there, is that really going to do much for keeping the art gallery going? As opposed to,
Yeah.
this kid. So I don't know.
Cheryl said find that those things that are called fine art are usually that attitude.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow a little bit. Mel says, Anita, you will seem to have really warm weather. We've had snow earlier this week and week before, but now it's raining again and getting warmer. It always goes up and down in November. Yeah, November's always the
Yeah, we don't
rain month.
usually get a lot of snow in
No.
November, but we've gotten some snow already.
Yeah.
We often don't get snow till around Christmas time.
If then.
Sometimes we have green Christmases.
Yeah. Sometimes the bulk of the snow doesn't come until January. But anyways, nothing you can do about the weather. So, tomorrow is Remembrance Day here in Canada. I don't know if it's Veterans Day tomorrow in
I
the
think
States.
It probably is.
I think it is. As well. It is probably Remembrance Day in a lot of parts of the world, I guess, November the 11th. So they'll have their service down at the local cenotaph and things like that. Kids are in school, though. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get Remembrance Day off. But
Yeah.
they stopped that, and you used to get when you were working at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that was good when I was working officially for the government. And then they decided to sever us from the government, but we were still sort of government, but they took the holiday away.
Yeah, so really the only, I
In New
think,
Brunswick, it's a holiday.
so they still have it as a holiday in New Brunswick. Because the only things that are closed tomorrow would be the banks. I'm not even sure the banks close anymore.
That's a good question.
Yes, they do, because the TD Bank the other day when I was down there had a sign on the door that they would be closed on November the 11th.
Cheryl says Veterans Day here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Call it Veterans Day. So anyways, so does anybody do anything special to honor the day? I have to admit I don't. Really, like, I might tune into the TV set when they come, they do the service from Toronto kind of a thing. Maybe, if I think about it, but actually
We
that's...
always only ever had like a minute of silence or something like this. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Anita says all banks and post offices are closed too. Yeah, the post office will be closed here too as well. Mel says, what is Remembrance Day? Remembrance Day is for the for all the wars, basically, that we've had since the First World War. Actually, it might even include a couple of ones before that. I don't know. But it's, honoring the soldiers and things during the First and Second World War, the Korean War, Vietnam, all those ones for, their service, that kind
Bonnie
of thing.
said parents were both veterans, and it's important for them.
Yeah, and it is. And it should be. And I think we do a disservice in our country because, they should shut down everything, really, for it. They used to. Years ago, it used to be that way. Of course, as a kid,
If anything, it should be a reminder of war stuff.
Well, in school, when I was teaching, and that we always had an assembly for Remembrance Day as well, and dragged all the kids down to the cafetorium kind of a thing, and the students council usually put on some kind of presentation or whatever. Yeah, we don't do enough, I don't think, for our veterans in Canada. But thank them for their service. At least as a quilter, I have done some things for Quilts of Valor. Made some blocks, handed them in.
Yeah, Mel says, Mel says that they had call it Veterans Day or something like that. But it's in April.
Yeah. Well, I know that in Australia, they have, what do they call it? Anzac Day?
Anzac Day or something.
Which is combination Australia, New Zealand, and that's when they have what is the equivalent of our Remembrance Day. At one time I thought everybody had Remembrance Day on November the 11th because the reason they have it is November the 11th is because that was when the armistice was signed for the First World War at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And that was it. And I thought it was a world war, and that would be everybody that was involved in the First World War would all be November 11th, but it's not, apparently. So, Pracy, again, no notification. Sorry, Pracy, that's not us. Okay, don't know why you're not getting it, but YouTube is YouTube, as you know. Anita's son is in the USAF. That's Air Force, isn't it? Yeah. U.S. Air Force, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that once before. I think maybe in one of your letters to me. Anita says, don't they have poppies as a remembrance? Yep. Yeah, we have poppies. We've been wearing them since after Halloween. Yep. We everybody's got their poppies. I guess the idea too is if you go down to the cenotaph where they have the services, at the end of the service you're supposed to take your poppy off and lay it at like a wreath around where all the wreaths and everything are, that kind of thing. And Mel says, and of course we celebrate our veterans on the 6th of December, which is our Independence Day. Oh, okay. And Blythe said, Remembrance Day for Canadians is to remember that they gave us our freedom. Yeah, exactly. And of course, in Flanders Fields, the famous poem, that was written by a Canadian. And that's the one they usually quote at most Remembrance Day services in one form or another. So, yeah, so tomorrow's Remembrance Day. Okay, so what's newsworthy this week? Well, the teachers are ramping it up at both the elementary and secondary school level. They're all in pretty much a legal strike position right about now. And, of course, what does the government do? The government passes a bill, the Dougie Ford government, passes a bill that says public servants cannot, they've capped an increase on all their salaries, so in the negotiation for these things, to 1% each year for the next 3 years. Well, the rate of inflation is more than 1%. And the teachers aren't asking for much of an increase. I think they're only asking for 2 or something like that, or 1 point something or other. The big issue is class sizes and all that kind of thing. And this government is going to learn. They've got this a-hole as their Minister of Education. I call him Lech. His name is actually what is it? Lich? Something like that. Well, I call him Lech. He looks like a lech. He sounds like a lech. He is a lech. But he he thinks this is going to be easy. Oh, no, 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 no. So there is a possibility.
Yeah, well, the government backed down supposedly on the class sizes, but then they turned around and it was sort of smoke and mirrors because
Yeah.
they said, well, we're not going to enforce these class sizes, but then he said at the board level, which
Yeah.
they're not going to enforce that or something.
Well,
So-
yeah. But the problem is the funding for school boards comes from a formula created many years ago by our provincial government in one of the other, might have been a conservative government that put that together at the time. I can't remember. And of course, the board's hands are tied then because they have to hire from that funding. And if they don't have enough funds, they got to cut jobs. So, and that makes the board look like the ones that are the evil ones, but it's part of the government.
So Mel says, have you followed YouTube changes starting January 1st, 2020 and how it will affect YouTube content creators? I think it would be a very difficult thing, especially for crafting channels.
I didn't know there was any changes. I hadn't seen anything
No.
about that. I'll have to look that one up, Mel. That's interesting. So what are they saying? How will it affect crafters? I have not heard anything about this. New YouTube thing is people getting suspended for spamming chat with emojis. Tracy says. I'll have to look into that, Mel, and see, because this is the first I've heard of this. But it doesn't surprise me. YouTube's changing things all the time. Maybe YouTube's getting tired of paying out a lot of these people that are making the big bucks on it. I don't know. Mel says it's a long story. We'll find some links. Okay.
I'll take a look as well.
Yeah, we'll research it. Don't worry too much about the links because Walter can find anything. Anita says, think anything that could be geared to kids. Well, I know there is something they've put in about kids if you have kids in any of your videos or something, but I'm not really sure what that's about. We don't usually
Well, I
have
think
kids.
that has to do with the pervs that are looking.
Well, I know it has something to do with that, but I don't know what the logistics are behind it. Like what they're doing exactly. I have to research that. But anyways, so that was what was newsworthy. Now, one thing I want to go through with, you know how last week I was talking about how do I increase viewers and things like that. I'm going to address what I'm going to do about that on my vlog tomorrow. But I did have one of our regulars, Inviting Thoughts, that's Chris in Australia. She wrote me a fairly extensive comment with some suggestions, and I thought I would actually read her comments to you and give you our response to it as well, so you have an idea of what we are and what we're not doing. So she said she first started off because I had talked about Alex. Oh yeah, I forgot about Hans there. Just back up a second. You know, Alex as in Curiosity Inc. And I talked about Hans, the guy that he'd hired to do some handiwork for him. And, you know, poor Hans's house had burned down a couple of years ago and whatnot. Well, he started to GoFundMe, thinking to get just enough money to be able to, you know, pay for heating of a trailer that Hans has been living in because he didn't have any heat over the winter months. Well, it exploded, and as of date, I just checked it before, a few minutes before we went live, he's got over $66,500. He has bought a house, a small house that needs, you know, some major improvements and things like that, but he's got a house, and it's heated, and he's going to use the rest of the money from it. I think he paid $41,000 for the house, which is cheap. Really, really cheap. You can't buy a house in Canada for 41. Well, I guess you can. He did.
It was a small house.
It's very small, so like 700 square feet or something like that. But you know, if he's one guy, and he seemed to be really happy and was well deserving of this, so that's great. I guess now they're looking at you know, using the rest of the money from that, the difference, you know, to finance fixing it up and everything like that, which is great. So Chris, back to what Chris was saying. Inviting Thoughts. You should let him, Alex, she says, know you are going out there and see if he will join your live when you're there. Well, we're going out in June to Edmonton, and when we're there, we intend to go to his shop and see it. I mean, how can we not? After all. And I will videotape I'm sure he won't mind me videotaping, whether he's in the store at the time. I'm not going to make any kind of announcement that we're arriving, although I sent him a message. I sent him a message, but not about the fact that we're going to be in Edmonton. I wrote him a message because, I thought what he did for Hans was a really nice thing. And so I wrote him a little note just saying, I think that was really great that you had done that. And, you're a very nice person for all of that kind of stuff and whatnot. And I did mention that we were coming out in Edmonton in June and we did intend to stop at his store. I didn't really expect to get a reply, but I did. It wasn't a long reply, but it was nice. He acknowledged the fact that I had written to him and he said, oh yeah, if you're out here and everything, like you've got to come and see the store and all that kind of stuff. And we will. So yes, I did do that, Chris. And then she writes, has Walter done any further beautiful glass works of art? They would be nice to see. And I write, no, but I should feature some of Walter's stuff. I haven't told him about this yet. But like maybe every week or so on my vlog, I can feature one of his glass stained pieces or stained glass pieces that's in our house and ask him how he made it and the process and why he made it that way, and a little mini interview with an artist.
Yeah, I still have some glass stuff sitting around, and I had some plans to do something else, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Well, I had an idea too, and we've talked about this before. I thought if we could find a quilt pattern that could be translated into a piece of stained glass as well, I could do the quilt, he could do the stained glass, and we've got this set.
Yeah,
This kind of thing. I think it would be kind of interesting to see how the same pattern translates into two different mediums.
Well, some of the quilt patterns would be fairly easy to make with stained glass.
So we should do that. So,
provided I can get the colors for it.
Well, yeah. Well, we would just pick colors you can get.
Yeah.
Or even if you find a pattern, then we see if we can match up the colors.
Or I can make a pattern. It doesn't have to be that we have to find a pattern.
Well, no, you could make a pattern and I could change it into a pattern for a quilt. And that. Lots of possibilities. Will we ever get to it?
I had thought, that one that I did, the stained glass one?
Which one? Oh, the stained
one
glass
that I don't
quilt.
have hanging up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of making a stained glass version of that.
Yeah, you could do that. Well, then that's just all your project, isn't it? Yeah, fine. Don't work with me then. Chris also wrote, there are loads of people wanting to see different journaling techniques at the moment. This was one of her suggestions about how to increase my viewership on my vlog. And I wrote, yes, I'm aware of this. And I like doing journals, but I thought maybe that there's so many of these videos on YouTube that mine might be just redundant. Like there are people out there that make better journals than I can make. And there's literally hundreds of YouTube videos about these things. So I don't know if it's worth the effort. I mean, I am running a series right now. I have been since January with those kits, the iCraft kits. And I'm not absolutely sure whether or not people really find those of value or not. Maybe they don't. But I do them. And then she said, and maybe show people how to make ATC cards and a swap, maybe, etc. So I put, to be honest, I do not really get into ATCs, although my art journal ladies do, the ladies I teach every month. Maybe I should put more effort into this and see what happens. I don't like making ATCs.
Going to make some more to drink.
I don't like making ATCs, artist trading cards. Okay, can you make more noise? Yeah. ATC cards are 2 by 3 inches, and I think the reason I don't like making them is because I don't like working in that small of a space. But lots of people do. In fact, I think it's coming up next weekend or something. There is a great big huge artist trading card swap meet in a place about 45 minutes away from us that people like just go and they take their artist trading cards and they trade them. So kind of like baseball cards. So I think some of the ladies in my group are actually going to that. So I'll hear more about that when I have my next class in December. But that's an idea. And then what else did she say? You should not be worried about the members, but more about your interaction with the members you have are quality and friendly. And yes, and that was the one key thing I got thinking about, and that's what I'll talk a little bit more about my decisions tomorrow on my vlog. But the bottom line is, you could have millions of subscribers, but those are just people that watch. I like to get to know the people that are my subscribers as best I can, and with as much as they want to share with me, because I think that's more personable. And so what? If I only get, 150 people or something watch one of my videos, then so be it. What does it matter, really, with it? I know that those people appreciate it, so there it is. I'm not trying to become a world-famous YouTuber. That's not the point of what I'm doing. And she also said, do what makes you happy. If your numbers drop, should it really matter? Are you doing it for you or others? And I think that's the bottom line. I'm not doing this for other people. I'm doing it for me because I like it. It's fun. It's a hobby, as I've said before. So anyways, tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about my decisions. I have done something, but I'll talk about that tomorrow too. It's a teaser to get you to come tomorrow. There you go. Okay. Let's see what people are saying. Mel says, not so simple. It's about kids, but it will make creators' life very difficult, especially for those who earn their living with YouTube videos. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that, Mel. And Anita says, yes, I looked up the channel on Hans and saw the house. He's a character. Oh, he certainly is. Yeah, and Mel says that would be an interesting project, referring to the quilt and the stained glass idea. So I would think it would be too. So let's move on here. What are we watching? We saw kind of a funny movie on Netflix last week called Otherhood. It's okay. It's an amusing little time waster. 3 mothers have decided to go and surprise visit their sons that live in New York City, because it's Mother's Day kind of a thing. And what they find out about their sons and all the different things that happen with that. So, it's one of those kind of shows. It's just a feel-good, funny little amusing time waster. But then I watched The King, and that's about Henry V. Actually, that was really good. It's a long movie, but it didn't seem long. It was 2.5 hours long, but it was really quite good. It's a bit gory, because there's like a lot of war happening in it, and there's a lot of heads rolling and whatnot. In fact, at one point, he has a couple of guys decapitated, beheaded, and you actually see the beheading. Heads are going to roll. So if you're interested in historical kind of stuff and you don't mind a little bit of gore, then you might like that movie.
Mel said she watched.
Oh, Mel watched it. Yeah, so we got Mel's endorsement on it too, so I'm not talking through my hat. Okay, and that's about it on that. What's cooking? Well, as we speak, over in the Instapot, over in that direction, we have got corned beef brisket, and we're having corned beef brisket and cabbage, cooked cabbage. Having a problem?
Yeah, I spilled.
Oh. We're having corned beef and cabbage and pierogies tonight. So it was my idea. Walter's cooking it. I haven't had that. Actually, originally I wanted a cottage roll, if you know what a cottage roll is. It's basically ham, but it's a ham shoulder or pork shoulder.
Picnic pork shoulder.
Yeah, it's basically very fatty, and you boil it, and it comes in like a little net bag, and you leave it in the net bag because it's kind of like
Tastes sort of
pieces.
like ham.
Yeah, well, it is ham
Yeah.
of sort, but yeah, but you boil it, and we used to eat that. That was a comfort food in my household in the wintertime. My mother would make cottage roll.
It used to be extremely fatty.
And it used to be very cheap, too. And
But
it's not anymore.
It's not as fatty as it used to be.
No, but anyway, so we couldn't get any cottage roll, but then we found a good deal on corned beef brisket, so we got that. Mel says, and good time waster is, excuse me, Dolomite is my name. Oh, yeah, I saw that on there. We passed it the other night.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was Eddie Murphy that was in it.
Anita says she's never heard of a cottage roll. Yeah, it might have other names in other places.
Yeah.
It's just basically a really cheap cut of pork. It's like ham pieces, all like kind of pressed together with fat.
It's cured, I think, a little differently than ham.
Yeah.
So
And you boil it. So it's not for everybody's taste, but whatever. Okay, so that takes us to All About You. So here's what we're going to do. We're not putting anybody on the spot. That's why I say we used to eat it. It looks like a small toupee ham. Okay. So I have a series of questions. And what I'd like to do is get you to respond to those questions. Now, this could get a little confusing because we're kind of doing it en masse with everybody who wants to participate in this. And your answers will be used as jump off points for other questions as well. So I'm going to start with this and we'll see who's going to answer. And don't be shy. When we first started live, we often asked where people were from, and I was keeping a list. Well, after a while, that got a little too horrendous. But so I'm going to start with that question again. Where do you live? And do you like where you live? And why? So let's just start with that. We know some of the answer to this from people like Mel. She's in Finland. But Mel, what part of Finland are you in? And what would be the closest place that we might have heard of that you live by or close to? Whatever. Bonnie, you're in New Brunswick. Where in New Brunswick? Same for you. B&D, I think you guys are in the United Kingdom. Where in the United Kingdom? And Pracy. And Pracy's our answer. Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. I think that's what PA is, right? It's Pennsylvania. Love it. Never want to move. Well, Pracy, why do you never want to move? What is it about, if I was to come to Valley Forge for a visit, what is it that you would want me to see that would stick in your mind that for you would represent why it's such a great place to live in? And that's the same kind of thing for others. Andy says she lives outside of Chicago and really like living in the Midwest. Well, my question to you, Andy, is why do you like living in the Midwest? Virginia's in Cincinnati, Ohio. I love the Four Seasons and the Midwest culture. Okay. We have never been to Cincinnati.
I think we've driven through it.
Have we driven through it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have. Cindy says northern. What's NH? About an hour from Canada's border.
Is it New Hampshire?
Is that? No, New Hampshire is not. Is that New Hampshire? Oh, maybe it is. Is that New Hampshire? And Terry, hi Terry, is in Portland, Maine. Portland is on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean.
Maine lobsters.
Yeah. Bonnie's in southern New Brunswick, Fredericton area. We have been there. Mel's in South Finland, very near Helsinki. We've been to Helsinki. Bonnie says New Brunswick. Live on the water and it's beautiful. Wouldn't trade Canada for any place. Yep. As much as I like Australia, and I could probably live there, I still like my own country. Pracy says, it's perfection here. Pretty scenic spots, not many natural disasters, any shop you want. Okay, that's in Valley Forge. Bonnie says, I'd like you to sit on my deck and watch the sunset and sunrise. I love the Four Seasons as well. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably very picturesque down there. We've got to get to the East Coast again. We haven't been in 30 years. Longer than 30 years. More like 35 years. Mel says, and I like this country because it's stunning nature, flora, fauna, and clean air. Yep. We didn't see much of Finland when we were there.
Yeah, well, we were on a cruise. So
we were on a cruise, so it was a
it's
port.
One day stop.
Yeah, we were in Helsinki, and that was it. We were in Helsinki, weren't we?
Yeah,
yeah,
Helsinki,
we were.
yeah.
Anita says, I live in Ohio, close to Dayton, Ohio, home of the Wright brothers. Our town is Tip City. Oh, I really love my town. It's like Norman Rockwell, Main Street, USA. And some of the things that you've told me before when you've written to me, Anita, it does sound like that. That's how I kind of pictured it. It sounds like a very nice little place. Bootsy Sweet Roy is on Long Island, New York, 15 minutes east of JFK Airport. Love it here, very near Manhattan, yet by the beaches. And I think in one of your videos, Roy, you mentioned the fact about you're right in a flight path. There was planes constantly going over top of you. And B&D, North Yorkshire, about 20 minutes from Harrogate. Claim to fame is a castle or town, and I don't like living here. Why don't you like living here? Everybody else seems like we're there living. Why don't you like living there? And doesn't every place in England have a castle? Seems like that when you go on a tour. Oh, look, another
Who
castle.
doesn't like living where they're?
B&D.
Oh.
They're in North Yorkshire.
Oh.
Andy says, I'm from the East Coast. I find the people here are much more friendly. I also like taking photos of the prairie. Flyover country is my favorite. So you're saying, Andy, that that you think that the Easterners are a little bit more, what, snotty kind of a thing? By sounds of things. Terry says, California to PA. Roy says, well, the planes we try to ignore. I grew up in the area, so pretty much used to it. Yeah, I guess that would be true.
Yeah, we used to live near a train track, and at first it was kind of noisy, but then after a while we got used to it.
Yeah, we got used to it. You never heard it anymore, really, from that. So it sounds like, for the most part, except for B&D, you like where you live. So that's a good thing. Okay, so next question is...
Oh, just a break here.
What?
The cottage roll is only in Canada.
Oh, that's a Canadian thing.
It's a Canadian. It's like female bacon. It's like Canadian bacon.
Okay, there you go. Learn something new every day. Andy says, rude, stand off. He shall lead us, the people on the east side. Actually, that sounds like Ontarians. At least according to the rest of Canada. Anyways, well, let's move on then. So we know where people are living and what they like. So what kind of work do people do? You know that I'm a retired school teacher. Walter's a retired... Oops, slip. What would you say? A retired...
Software developer.
Oh, software developer. Okay. I didn't know what the technical term would have been for that. So what kind of work do you do? Or if you don't work anymore, if you're retired, what did you retire from? And do you like your job? Or do you enjoy being retired? Or what?
Retired human resources professional is Terry.
Okay, I'm trying to... Oh, human resources professional. Okay, Terry. What does a human resources professional do? Because I don't know. I mean, I know what human resources is. Well, I don't really know what human resources.
They handle all the benefits, and they are responsible. They support hires and fires, and
okay.
That's what I know.
Is that what so Terry, fill us in on what you did. And Bonnie says she was a retired nurse and her hubby is a retired principal. Okay. And Anita is a retired nurse as well. And Tracy says, I co-own commercial real estate. Oh. So in other words, what, you're a landlord for business sort of a thing? B&D is retired teacher and HMRC officer. Okay. And Bonnie says, we're both listening comment. Okay. And Andy says, I'm a retired trainer. Last job was a highfalutin bank. I'm happier being retired than a pig rolling in mud. And Virginia's a retired teacher. I'm enjoying sewing, gardening, reading, etc. Yep, that's great. So, who hated their job? Anybody? Roy says retired New York City elementary school principal and couldn't retire sooner. The New York public school system is broken badly. Yep. I liked what I did for a living, but I'm glad I'm retired. I like being retired better.
For the most part, I liked what I did, but I got tired of it. Plus, there were too many changes. The software industry has changed radically.
And Carol was an ex-teacher, longtime crafter, artist, wannabe. And Bonnie, she loved her job 90% of the time, but loves retirement. Yeah, can't say too much about retirement. And Terry says, I just retired in July, so still getting used to it. HR professionals, simple explanations to help to set policies, benefits for the employees. Okay. And B and D says enjoyed teaching, but not being an HMRC officer. Well, why didn't you enjoy being an HMRC officer? Andy, I love being a trainer. Didn't like some of the companies I work for. Okay. So in a sense, Andy, you were sort of in the teacher vein as well then.
Cheryl said, I didn't hate my job, but nursing is hard.
Oh, I haven't seen that comment yet.
Oh,
No.
there, right there, the green one.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, I did. Sorry, I missed an easel. I didn't hate my job, but nursing is hard. Yes, I would never be able to do that kind of thing. I mean, having to deal with sick people every day who are already miserable, and then not to mention all the fun things
Not
you have to
probably all
clean
the
up.
administrative stuff that you have to do. Actually, that's the part I always hated the most about my job. Wasn't exactly the software and everything else. It was all the administrative duties that I hated.
Yeah. And B and D says, tax officers are not liked. Oh, so is that what HR or HMRC? Is that what that means? That had something to do with that? I thought that had something to do with the military. I'm not sure about that. Bonnie says, I love the benefits Canada offers a retired person. CPP, I have a work pension and OAS. I'm disappointed for my adult children that pensions are not offered as a benefit now. Yeah, that's what I like too about being a teacher. I got a decent pension. I mean, we paid into it. It's not like it's free. Some people like to, when they're down on teachers, at least here in Canada, want to talk, oh, you teachers, and you make all that money, and you like as though we're paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you got this great pension. Well, what they don't understand is we paid into the pension. It wasn't a freebie at all. It was something like, I think by the time I got to retirement, I think I was paying something like 12% or 13% of my pay into my pension. So
Yeah, well, I did software development for 9 years for an insurance company, and I didn't get any pension benefit out of that. And then I worked for 30 years for the government, where I did have a pension plan, but like you, I had to pay into it.
Oh, so
Her Majesty's.
HMRC stands for Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. Oh,
Oh, okay. So you're a beloved government
Yeah.
employee as well.
yeah. Bonnie says, I agree, we paid into it, but for me it was a benefit, as I'm not sure I would have squirreled away any money like my pension. Yeah, well, that's what a lot of the young teachers do. I mean, I took out a registered retirement savings plan, which we refer to as an RRSP, back, in the early 90s. So after I'd been teaching for about 10 years, I started that, and I'm glad that I did. It's not major, but it's money that I don't touch, and it grows. Because it's all taken and it's invested in mutual funds and stuff like that. It's to keep me in the nursing home style I want to grow accustomed to. I'll be able to afford the softer depends. Yeah. Pensions going. Terry says pensions going or gone away in many companies, especially in the U.S. Hard for many people to save for retirement. It's the same in Canada. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing here in Canada, though, is they're hiring people that are doing full-time hours but are classified as part-time jobs. And because they're classified as part-time jobs, if there is a pension plan, they can't be part of it. They have to be a full-time employee. So that's how a lot of private businesses are getting around paying into pension plans for their employees here. And, unless you're a public servant, because there is pension plans already built into that, a lot of people don't have pensions. Mm-hmm. So they do have to think ahead, I think, about retirement. I think we talked about this once when we talked about retired life.
Yeah, a lot of young
stuff.
people nowadays think that retirement's a long, long ways away. So.
And Terry says, I saved as much as possible in my 401k.
401k, I think, in the U.S. is similar to our RRSP.
Yeah, I think so. Because you hear them talk about that all the time on things. Okay, so that's what everybody was doing. So let's get down to the more personal family life thing. So, who has children and or pets? And can you name?
Virginia said I taught
Nope.
10 years in public schools and have little pension from that along with the pension. Have a little pension along with that with the pension from teaching in private school for 30 years.
There's applied from a U.S. Social Security. Okay. So U.S. Social Security would be like our CPP.
I think that's like our OAS. Or no.
That's old age security.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah,
I don't mean it's a combination
yeah.
of those. I don't know. B&Ds. My work pensions are rubbish and just got my old age pension at 65 and 6 months. I was widowed young, which really messed with my pensions. And Bonnie says, our son-in-law is very astute. He knows he doesn't have a retirement pension, so he bought real estate to sell for a pension. Oh, probably a good move on his part. So Tracy has one son and one dog. And when you mention that if you have pets and children, which do you like better? Carol's got a grown son and one dog. Anita's got 2 grown sons and 6 cats. Wow. Oh, I always knew there was something about Anita I liked. Her cats. Roy's got 2 daughters, 5 grandchildren, 1 pet. Oh, I mean a husband. The dog is in an urn on the mantle. Okay. We never did that with Cleo. Sometimes I wish we had. But then again, I don't know. What are we going to do? Mm-hmm. I have a picture on the dresser in the bedroom. I say good morning to her every day.
Terry has 2 adult children, 4 grandchildren, and 2 fur babies.
Oh, miniature schnauzers who I called the boys. Schnauzers are so cute. They're so fluffy. Bonnie's 2 adult children, both married with children. Mel's got 1 dog and 1 cat, and thank God no kids. Yeah, you've got kids. They're your fur babies. Carol says she prefers the dog at times. Virginia says 2 grown children and 2 granddaughters. I'd love to have a dog. Well, trade in one of the kids. One of the grandchildren. Maybe you get one. I don't know. Did they take trade-ins? Bonnie says, we just have a 6-month-old puppy. Ooh, puppies. Except puppies you got to train, don't you? I'm a cat I like dogs, too. But
I grew up with a dog. I was resistant to getting a cat, but I learned to like her.
Yeah, she liked you better than me. She'd play rough with you, though.
Yeah.
No, I miss the kitty now. B&D says, I have 2 children and no pets. And Roy, something else to dust. Oh, the urn, that is. He says. Andy says, I had 2 sons. My youngest died a couple of years ago. Oh, that's too bad.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, really. I also have a boxer named Mitzi. Love her to death. Well, that's kind of sad about your son. Virginia says, I'm definitely a dog person. Priest says, I'd love a pet skunk. Yeah, me too. Apparently, they make really good house pets when you get them descented. And they can be trained to use kitty litter box. That's what they say. Whoever they are. Bonnie says, no, we love it. Animals make us live longer, so says Statistics Sally. And Andy says, I was a cat person for about 30 years. See, I like dogs. The only problem with the dog is you got to walk it.
Well, that's good exercise.
Good. Let's get a little dog. Let's get a little chihuahua.
Well, actually, dogs are harder to leave alone.
Well, that's more than that. It's not so much the walking the dog. It's the fact is if you go away, what do you do with the dog? I mean, with the cat, we could go away, or we could go like to Toronto overnight and not have to worry about the cat. She had her fountain, she had her food, she had her litter box and everything, and then she had her attitude because we'd come home and she goes, yeah, did you have a nice weekend? Well, I've destroyed the house. Well, no, she never did that, but she just had that look on her face like she wanted to. A dog, though, you got to have somebody then walk it while you're away. You can't leave the door thing. You come in the door the next day after you've been out, not home for a night. The poor dog sitting there with his legs crossed going, I really have to go. I really have to go. I really have to go. Oh, I went. And then you have to find it. So that's why I prefer cats. But a little chihuahua. The neighbors next door have a little chihuahua.
Oh, God.
And it is the yappiest little thing. I just want to get it and squeeze it. Like, not in a mean way, but just course, every time he sees us anywhere, it's like, ah! Terry says walking dog gets me out of the house. Yep. And Andy says my plan is only going to places where I can take Mitzi. There are more places opening up, like hotels and that are pet friendly apparently. So you can bring your
Yeah, well, actually, when I've been doing searches for places to stay, there are quite a few hotels that allow pets now.
So that's kind of good. Roy says our wonderful Kong, Rhodesian
Ridgeback.
yeah, got very, very expensive in his declining years, and it was difficult even to go to dinner with friends if it would last more than a couple of hours. Yeah, we had some friends like that when Michael and Jacques had their dog.
Yeah.
Remember, they had a lot of, near the end, problems with that. They couldn't really leave it. Dogs are pack animals, says B&D, and cats are loners. Yeah, but cats have personalities. Like, I know
Dogs
anybody.
do too.
Well, dogs have personalities too, but dogs are kind of like they're always there. You know, like hi, I love you. Here, let's play toss. Hey, take me out for a walk. Hey, look at that squirrel, kind of thing. Cat is like, yeah, I'll flip that thing over there for you. Why don't you go get it for me? I mean, I'm just too lazy to pick it up. I think cats are cool.
I take my dog almost everywhere I go. And if I cannot take him with me, I just don't go.
So simple. Yeah, it's simple, not sample. Yeah, we got that. With you, Mel. B&D says prefer cats. I prefer cats, but I like dogs. I like all animals, really.
Yeah, well, I like both animals. I like both cats and dogs. But I think I'm convinced now after having a cat that cats are a little bit easier to look after.
Yeah, but you know, people are divided on this because it says a lot about people's personalities too, what kind of animal they like. 'Cause dog people are different from cat people. Cat people who don't like cats are, I think, are people that basically are afraid of them because they don't know what the cat's thinking. Because cats just look at you and you know they're plotting. They're always plotting. Although I know a lot of men that say that about their wives too. So I joke. Terry says, I take my boys on trips with me. There are many pet-friendly hotels in Canada, too. We took Skipper with us to California when we got Buddy and easily found a place to stay. Bonnie says, dogs do have personalities. Sorry to disagree with you. No, I know dogs have personalities, too. Some dogs you don't really have to walk. Yeah, but where do they go? Like, do they...
Well, then they have paper training.
Ooh, I don't like that.
No.
Ooh, paper training? No. Ooh, no. And Bonnie says, how about if we like both? That means you just can't make up your mind you're a fence sitter. I don't know. I don't hate... I like both. I like both. We used to have a dog, but she passed away. Oh, that's what happens to them too. I love all animals. I've always been dog and horse people. Oh, horses. Now, horses scare me a little bit because I think back when I was in high school, I dated this girl very briefly, and she had horses, and she took me out horseback riding, and the horse tried to kill me.
Okay, so Prezi just said that about dogs that you don't have to walk. You just open the back door and let the dogs go out the back.
Oh. Well, you have to live in a place that allows you to be able to do that, or that. Well, you could do it here at our place too. It's all fenced in.
But you still have to pick up their shit.
Yes, and you always know, like the people, the old next door neighbors, they had two. What were they? Golden retrievers.
Yeah.
And you always knew in the springtime where they'd been, because in the winter they'd let them out in their backyard. Then when the snow melted, there was a lot of mounds of brown stuff everywhere. Tracy had 2 dogs until February. Oh, Tracy, what happened? Should I ask? Ania says, the 6 cats I now have all showed up at my house as strays, so rescues. I've since put out the no vacancy sign. Yeah. See, That's the one thing. Oh, there's Chris. Hi, Chris. I was talking about you earlier. I read your comment that you made about like last week's video, which I found really interesting, and so you'll have to do the replay back to catch that. So what was I talking about here? Has to say so. Rescues have sense. Yeah, rescues. If I was ever to get another animal, that's the first thing I would do. It'd be a rescue. I wouldn't buy a. I wouldn't go someplace and buy a purebred anything. Because I'm not interested in showing them off at shows or anything like that. I just want to give a poor little animal a nice home. That's how we got Cleo. She was a rescue.
Well, I had 2 dogs until February. Something about brain tumor.
Fence sitting. I like both different reasons. Love outside. My husband's sister had a mean horse. Would not let anyone, Chris says, near it. It bit my husband when it gave it an apple and he punched it. It was nice after that. You bite me, I punch you. Okay. Priest said brain tumor. Oh, both of them? Both of them at the same time had brain tumors? Or just one? It's sad, but like our Cleo had pancreatic cancer. Mel, Andy says, Mel, I'm into horses as well. I always say I prefer horses and not dogs to people.
No, just one. Doug Presley said 1 brain tumor.
Oh. So what happened to the other dog? Okay, so we've all got our pets. Well, those of us that like pets or have them. We don't have any pets.
Anymore.
No. So hobbies and interests. So what do you like to do when you're not watching YouTube? Kind of a thing. Like how many of you, I know like some of you are crafters. I don't know, are any of you quilters? Because you know me. But
The other one's on the couch right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so she...
Oh, so you used to have 2 dogs. One poor doggy had the brain tumor, but you still got the other dog. Got it. Had to do the math. Oh, yeah, Chris, that's very true. Hardest thing I ever had to do was when we had to put Cleo down. My father had died a year before that. I was more upset about the cat. So, there you go.
Virginia's a quilter.
Oh, yay, Virginia, you're a quilter. Yay. And Bonnie quilts daily. Yeah, it's all I do anymore. So, tomorrow I'm going to talk about that on the vlog. Something I'm thinking about doing. Roy says, I only quilt small projects right now into making handbags. You make a lot of handbags, though, Roy, don't you? Walter's kind of a bag boy. Dude, he'd rather make bags than make purses. Quilts. You're working on a bag right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Terry, she likes to quilt, embroider, and sew, etc. Okay, there's more people on here in the quilting vein than I expected. And he says, I love to make things, but I have not done much this year. I have, however, read 46 novels so far this year. And that was one of my other questions I was going to ask about reading, and we'll come to that.
Oh, police scanners. Yeah, my mom used to do that when I was younger. I listened to figure out what was going on.
Who does the police scanners?
Prezi.
Why does that not surprise me? Sewing, cooking, tech, TV, CB radios, police scanners, true crime, giving out unsolicited advice on the net. Bonnie likes to make bags too. Mm-hmm. There you go. You two could start a bag club on the internet.
Cheryl says, I love to make things, but I have not done much this year. I have, however, read 46 novels.
Yeah, I know. I've read 46 novels, yeah. Wow. I'm lucky if I get through one novel in 6 months. Only because I read just before
Carol
I go to bed.
Says she does stained glass ink quilting.
Oh, Carol, so you do stained glass too. So look, you could have a channel. You guys could all get together. Terry says, I'm starting to quilt small blankets for animal shelters. Yeah. At least the animals aren't going to be that picky.
Bonnie's questioning why your vlog is not live.
Because we have this one.
Well, not only that, it's difficult for you to show
Yeah.
other videos.
Because I
online.
splice in some video clips of different things, so it would be difficult for me to do that if it was live. Well, I couldn't do it if it was live. I have experimented a couple of times, but most of you never saw them because they're at weird times, where I've tried to do a live during the day, just me.
When do our lights come on?
They should have come on at 4:30. Oh, that was probably because of the stupid. I probably have to start the cache
Yeah.
again. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, no vlogs. Vlogs are vlogs, and live is live. This one's the live part. Let me see. I'm missing stuff here. Mel says, "Oh wait." Oh, Bonnie says, I have watched your vlog, but it's not live. No, it's not live. Live in the sense that, like what we're doing right now. My vlog, though, is unedited, except for the things that I might splice into it. So what you see is what you get. So when I do the vlog, I address the camera as if it was live. So maybe that's where you get the impression. There's one lady I haven't seen. Well, I don't know if it was a lady. There was one person that sometimes catches the replay of this, the live, and she thinks it's live. And so she asks questions in the comments. And I answer her questions in the comments, but I've said to her before, you realize this is not live. This is the rebroadcast and that. And I don't think she understood that. And I haven't been able to explain it to her any other way. I'm missing out here on what people are saying. So, B&D says reader, radio listener, not pop music, podcasts, any craft going, etc. Chris says I'm into paper crafting, journaling, and reading. And Mal likes to draw, and photography are my main hobbies. Reading and love going to museums and art galleries, sometimes crafting. And Chris is attempting drawing, but a bit hopeless. It's something I wish I was good at. Yeah, I wish I could draw, but I can't. Bonnie loves podcasts, listens while I sew and quilt. Yeah, that's what I do too. I have several different podcasts I like to play. Some of them are about quilting, some of them about other things, and I just like them going on in the background while I'm sewing. Anita likes to decorate her home. And Andy says, I'm not into photography, hand lettering, reading, and I'm teaching. I'm into photography, hand lettering, reading, and I'm teaching myself to watercolor. Okay. And Pretty says, and watching comedy, like Letterman, Conan, Bill Burr, Tracy Morgan, Eddie Murphy, Ice Cube, Tom Green, Colbert, John Oliver. Virginia likes to watercolor, but haven't taken time to develop my skills. And Tracy right now I'm doing a line of naughty crafts for my blog. Naughty crafts. Oh, Tracy, you come up with something every time. What are the naughty crafts? And how do I see pictures of them? Bonnie says, yes, sometimes I like to ask where you get your machine embroidery. Oh, easy. Online. There's 3 sites that I go to principally. Creative Kiwi, they're out of New Zealand, and creative is spelled with a K, and then Kiwi. Online Embroidery, and Embroidery Library. Those 3 right there. Those are the ones I go to all the time for my patterns and stuff. Andy likes to bullet journal. I tried that, and I couldn't get into it. And I'm a list maker, so I kind of thought that was something I would like, but actually I didn't for some reason. I don't know. Bonnie says, see, that is what I mean. What podcast do you like about quilting? The American Quilting Podcast. There's another one. Oh, what's that one? It's like a Fons and Porter, but I don't think it's Fons and Porter. That's not what they call it.
Stitches or something?
Oh, well, that one's not really a podcast. That's a YouTube. But there's one called The Stitches, and they're a YouTube channel, but basically they're like a podcast in a way because they just sit behind a desk and talk about all kinds of different things. But I find them very interesting. But you can find them on YouTube. I can't think. There's another one. The American Quilting and Sewing, or American something. I haven't got it here handy so I can look at my list. They're on the computer downstairs. But if I think about them, I'll list them down and tell you about them next week, or drop them into the show notes or something. What are you laughing at?
No, Bonnie says she likes to curl and golf.
Oh, okay.
Right, but then Prezi further down says curling ?
Cool beans.
I think curling's throwing rocks down a pad of ice.
Yeah.
And brooms sweep after it.
Is that something that's more Canadian?
I don't know.
Actually, I thought it had.
I thought it was on a Olympic thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Winter Olympics. They have curling stuff on that.
Yeah.
But its origin, actually, I think its origin is in Scotland. At least it's always associated with Scots to a certain extent. Of course, I think it's more associated with Canadians.
Anyway, Inviting Thoughts says naughty crafts.
Yes, please. And Anita says, actually, I have an entire craft room where I have all kinds of art supplies. Yeah, who doesn't? Way too many of those. I'm actually seriously considering gutting my craft room and making it into a sewing room, but I'm not ready to part with some of my stuff.
Carol says she's certified teacher of Japanese floral arranging.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
And mixed media. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. Okay, know those sites.
Naughty crafts, stringless bikinis,
eye-raising coffee table books, etc. Okay, we want to see pictures of this stuff. Andy, does anyone have the notorious craft room? My craft supplies mysteriously multiply like rabbits. Oh yeah, I've done a video about mine. Yeah.
Prezi said she cleaned her craft room. Bonnie says John Schuster.
He's the American 2018 Winter Olympic champion. Oh, okay, for curling.
Yeah, for curling.
And yeah, and Anita's got a craft room too. Terry says, I have a craft room, but it's the fabric that keeps multiplying, taking over. Yeah. I find it hard to part with craft supplies too. Yep. Chris says, want to know more about the coffee table books, Tracy. Okay, so we know that some people's hobbies border on to pornography from this. Well, everybody needs a hobby. Okay, so here is a tricky question. Okay, so let's say we were actually to physically meet. So what's the one thing about you that we would remember after meeting you for the first time? And don't say your good looks.
Says it's not porn.
Oh, well.
Too bad.
Damn. So people, what is the one thing that we would take away from us after we had met you? Tracy says, I'm a lot shyer in person. Interesting. Oh, geez. Well, I could see that because oftentimes, when people write in this kind of forum, I think they feel a little bit more, what would be the term, more extroverted in this context, or that, because
Lucy says, we met, what did you take away?
Oh, what'd you take away? Weren't you guys going on a nude cruise? It's just an image I can't get out of my head.
No, they were on a gay cruise.
No. Well, they were talking about nudie cruises or something, I thought, at one point.
I don't think so.
I don't know. What would I take away? Because we have met. I think it was your
I
wide...
think it was somebody else that was talking about the nude cruise.
Oh, maybe it was. Okay. Get off that. I think I would take away, Roy, for meeting you, the time was how diversified you were in your interests, the things that you have done. And in fact, I did not know when we first started chatting that you were actually in the education system. And actually, that would have been probably the last thing at that point that I would have placed you in, because you seem to have had a lot of experiences around the world and doing things. You traveler, big traveler. That's something that I take
Bonnie
away.
says she's honest but very shy.
Okay.
Andy says she's funny. Meliart says bad behavior.
Bad behavior. Are you a naughty girl, Mel? Oh yeah, B&D's got to go. It's past your bedtime. Okay, B&D, we'll see you next week. No, you won't. We're not doing one next week. I'll come to that. So don't adjust your set. You won't see a notification. If you don't get notifications anyways, you won't know. But we're
Why
not.
wouldn't we be able to do one next week?
Because I'll be at the retreat. I'll be coming home, and I don't know what time we'll get home.
Yeah, but I thought you'd have to come home like after lunch or something.
Yeah. And you'll have to come up and get me.
Yeah.
And then by the time I come down, and I'll probably be so full of...
You'll have lots to talk about.
I know. That's why I may have to take need week to collect my thoughts about that. But we'll hold that discussion. Yeah. We're off our topic here. Kathy says, you said he was funny. We were at
Andy
Dolphins.
was funny. Meliar says bad behavior.
Okay, I'm chatting when I'm okay, I'm losing track my thought pattern here. Chris says I'm chatty when I'm nervous, so first meeting you would think I'm too chatty.
I think I'm like that too.
What, chatty?
I'll start to get. I usually am very quiet if I meet somebody new, but then sometimes if I'm nervous, I get chatty.
Oh, Roy says we were at an all-inclusive resort in Cancun. That's what he was talking about. Yeah, okay. Kathy says you said he was funny. Yep. People seem to gravitate to me. I think I'm easy to talk to. Okay. And thanks. I attribute it all to adult ADD. About that, all the different things he's into. Virginia says, I enjoy being a homebody and always have some sort of craft project in the works. And Roy, I took away that John and I found a clone couple. Me more like Stephen and John more like Walter. A lid for every pot. Yeah, that's true. Andy says, Virginia, I'm basically a homebody as well. I have so many fun things to do at home. I think I'm a bit of a homebody too, but we go out. I don't know. I'm not sure. Depends on how you define homebody. Okay, so let's talk food. Who likes to cook? And what's your absolute favorite for food? And maybe on that note too, what's the one thing your lips will never touch? I'll tell you mine. Fish. Hate it. And cooked beets. Ugh. Oh, and liver. And sushi, which is fish.
Raisin pie.
Ooh, love it. You don't like raisin pie because you had a little reaction when you were...
Well, I don't think I'd eat a whole raisin. I don't mind raisin toast, but raisin pie, gross.
My grandmother used to make raisin pie, used to get us raisin pies. I loved raisin pie. Back in the day when I first moved out on my own...
Liver never.
No, liver never. When I first moved out on my own, I would go to the AMP when that existed, and I would buy the Ann Page 99-cent raisin pies. And I'd eat the whole thing. Loved it. It's delicious.
Head cheese.
Oh, God, my father used to love that. Liver never, Anita says. Good.
Melior says, I hate cooking. My favorite is anything I can
Make under 5 minutes. And I like to cook. I'm eating fish at the moment. Oh, hate raisin pie. And love beets.
I like beets.
Love date pie. I've never had date pie. So that's sort of like what... I'd like date squares, because I love date squares.
Love Cretan. What's Cretan?
Cretan. Where are you reading?
Here, Bonnie S. Love Cretan.
I don't know.
What's Cretan?
Yeah, what's Cretan? I don't know that one. Bonnie says, I like to cook. I'm eating fish. Okay, they pie. And to love Cretan. Okay, we need to know what Cretan is. Chris says, love to cook, but hubby hates to eat my food as he is meat and 3 veg only. He hates trying anything new. My daughters love to eat my food and sometimes take them food. And Priest says, I love it. Any Asian food. I hate goat products because goats look like mutants and I don't want to eat mutants. And Terry says, I like to cook, especially Italian food. Hate liver, especially chicken liver. It's disgusting. I agree with you. Andy, I enjoy cooking. I love my homemade cream of mushroom soup. Hate okra, eggplant, and liver.
Cretan's pork meat spread.
Oh, Cretan is a French version of head cheese. Ooh! Ooh! Yuck!
It looks disgusting.
Oh, God. It looks like cat food. Oh. Oh, yuck. Gross. And he says, I used to love cooking for the family. I don't really like cooking for just 2 of us. Cooking for 2 people is difficult. But I have found a solution to that problem. I don't. He does it. Yes, it works for me.
I don't mind cooking.
Good
Depends, but I tend to be a simple cook.
No.
Simple
Oh, you mean
people.
simple ingredients, not like simple as in... Okay. Cretan said, interesting string gives, hate to leave, but gotta go. Okay, bye, Carol.
Yeah, bye.
And Virginia says, I have tried lots of Instant Pot recipes lately. Don't like deer meat. Oh, I agree. I don't like venison.
any
Game.
any non-domesticated animals.
Yeah, like dog, cat, horse.
Though I do like horse.
You have had horse. Yes, and I've had horse too.
Yeah, you didn't really have horse. The best is cold.
I don't know. Something about eating a horse.
I like eel.
Ugh.
Eel. Yum, yum.
Oh, well, you weren't in the conversation last night. Daniel, the bartender. He loves eel.
Yeah, well, no, he probably doesn't have like smoked eel.
No,
I
not
only
smoked.
smoked.
But he
I don't like fresh eel.
eel. Eel. Yeah, no.
Bonnie, well, Bootsy says, love to cook and love to eat. Eat everything.
Cooking dinner right now. Cornish
right,
hen,
right.
carrot, roast cauliflower. Love liver. Oh, we'll have it tomorrow when John is away because he doesn't like it. That's why I said Walter can have it anytime I'm not
I'm
here.
having beets while you're away next week.
Well, you could just have as many of those as you want and
Yeah.
air out the house afterwards. Bonnie says Cretan, it sounded like Cratoon. Cratoon. Cratoon?
Cartoon.
Terry says, I now cook for 1. Hubby died 2 years ago. Oh, sorry to hear that. So I freeze a lot. Oh, you mean the food? I had to think about that for a minute. Tracy loves eel. Of course you love eel. And Terry likes eel on sushi. Okay. And what is this with the eel? So many people in eel. I don't know. Andy, sorry, Terry. My only son lives in California. My favorite storage device is the Food Saver. Oh. Anita says, I can't eat any fish. I literally turn green. And
I'm not a big fish fan either. I had enough of it when I was a little kid.
my mother used to cook it once a week, and I hated it. She goes, it's good. Yum, yum. Yeah. No, it's not, Mother. And then the worst thing she used to do was she loved cooked beets, but the ones in the can, they called them Harvard beets, and they were in sort of a vinegar brine or something. She'd cook those up. They're slimy as hell. They're all this purple goo. And then she'd throw mashed potatoes on my plate, and then she'd say, and you'll have some of this too because you'll love it. And she slaps those down right next to my mashed potatoes so it all bled together and just destroyed everything on my plate. Well, it came true. I told her I'd be picking her home, and I did.
Cooking for 2 is a bit easier if one has a creative leftover brain. Oh, so you eat brain too? No.
Oh, yeah. Hey, the best thing for leftovers, always have a supply of tortilla shells. Put them in the tortilla, put the leftovers in the tortilla shell, throw on a little shredded cheese, roll it up, throw some salsa on the top of it, bake it in an oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes, and serve surprise burritos. I've done that a lot. Lobster.
Inviting thoughts that she's not a big seafood fan. And Prezzi's bought a smoker.
Recently. What,
Yeah.
for the eel? Ooh, love sushi eel. Oh, what is this with sushi eel?
Not fond of sushi either.
Ugh. Lobster, I do like. I don't like seafood, but I do like lobster. I don't mind shrimp as long as they're not fishy at all.
And real crab.
And real crab meat, again, as long as it's not fishy. Scallops, do not like. Anything else? Mussels,
I'll eat scallops.
stuff in a shell. No. But I do love lobster.
Bootsy, I made Harvard beets. That's my favorite.
Oh, and mix them with noodles.
I don't know about noodles. I like them with mashed. I like them with potatoes.
Say it isn't so. The horror. Oh, the horror. No. Terry says, have you tried roasted beets? Actually, I have, and I don't mind that. And pickled beets, I don't mind either. But there's something.
I'm not fond of pickled beets.
But something about Harvard beets, just slimy, gooey. What are they? I don't know. Bad childhood memories. No, I bought the smoker to smoke bluefish. Okay. Bonnie says lobster, crab, and shrimp are seafood. Yeah, I know that, Bonnie. But what I meant is they're the only seafood that I like. Okay. That's what I meant.
Prezi says she likes Marmite.
Oh, God. How can you eat that stuff? It's like...
I think it's an acquired taste.
Very acquired. Because when we were in Australia, they had that everywhere, Marmite and Vegemite. And one, I don't know what the difference is between them. But they're yeast, aren't they? They're some kind of yeast extract, and they're very, very, very salty. Roy says, I'm only here to delight you.
I love Gravlax, my favorite. What's Gravlax?
What's Gravlax? My favorite. If someone else makes it. Okay. I don't know what that is. Walter's looking it up. What actually is Marmite? It is a yeast-based product.
It's actually like something. Gravlax is like a type of salmon.
Oh, okay.
Cured salmon.
But Marmite is
it's a byproduct of the beer making process.
And it's just
it's like made from beer yeast. And it's really...
You can't describe the taste.
It has a yeasty flavor, and it's extremely salty. It's like eating congealed soy sauce that tastes like yeast.
Yeah. But...
It's an acquired taste.
I guess so. I'm behind here.
Yeah, Prezi says spent yeast of the beer manufacturing process.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are beets like beetroot?
It's extremely high in vitamin B.
Chris says, are beets like beetroot, the red, purple root? But yeah, that's what beets are. And Roy says, one thing I didn't eat is okra, unless deep fried. Yeah, I don't know. We went on a stage with okra years ago.
In Indian food restaurants.
I don't mind it. I haven't had it in a while. You have to have hard shell crabs from Chesapeake Bay. Best ever. And Chris says Vegemite is so much better. Oh, yeah, Chris, you could have told us what Marmite is. Yeah. Like, you're native to this.
Vegemite, who said? Great for hangovers.
Oh, most people spread it too thick, thinly spread. And grab something like pickled raw fish. And Prezi is spent yeast of the beer manufacturing process. Lax is like salmon is the Gravlax. Lax equals salmon, she says. Chris says Vegemite has lots of vitamin B. I'd rather take it as a pill. Thank you. Great for hangovers. Okay. Musk sticks. Prezi, you're making this stuff up. I don't know. What are musk sticks? And Anita says, I love a good steak. Yeah. What are musk sticks? They don't sound that appetizing. Why am I picturing a big, hairy-looking animal on a stick? You looking it up? Did you find it?
Yeah, are they those... That looks like they're those... I don't know.
Well, Chris says candy musk sticks, pink, yummy.
Yeah, they're those pink, hard pink.
Oh, the...
Yeah.
You mean, oh, okay.
I
What?
don't ever, actually, I've never really been that fond of those.
No, I know what they are, but we don't call them musk sticks. But I don't know what we call them. Rock candy.
Yeah, I
We
don't
call
know.
it rock candy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the same thing, I don't know. Inviting thoughts says sounds like cotton
stick of
candy.
fondant, usually pink.
Oh no, that's not rock
and
candy.
extruded with ridged cross section in the shape of a star. I don't think I've ever had those.
No, well, Tracy says yes. I paid $60 for a box from Aussie. So,
I
so
don't
is
think
that
we've ever had that.
No,
and
we never had it.
in Australia
No.
either.
No, Price says no. It's not rock candy. No, it's not. As we've just figured out, like McCormick rock candy at Christmas. That was what I was thinking, but apparently that's not what it is. Roy says
They're made of musk essence, gelatin,
Chick-
and icing sugar. What is musk essence?
Okay, Roy, what are you? Chick chirons? Are you Cheryl's? No, I don't know what those are. I don't even say how to say it. Tell me, pork skins. Oh, that's pork skins. What chick
Oh, that.
chick
Yeah.
chirons? Pork skins.
What is it? Pork rinds?
Or is that what we call pork rinds? I like leaving them out a bit so they go a little hard. Okay, that's the musk sticks.
Pork skins.
No, the musk skins, Chris.
No, I know. Boosie Switchcart says pork skins.
Yeah, okay. And
Okay.
Bonnie says pork rinds.
It's like musk perfume, but I still don't know what musk perfume smells.
I like lardons in France.
Yeah, which is like pork rinds.
What lardons are?
Well, lardons maybe not.
I've made a cinnamon keto cake out of pork rinds. Well, that sounds kind of gross. I don't know. Tracy says chi charon is.
It's
Never-
very fatty part of that's what a lardon is.
Okay, but I was. Okay, this duck skin is like.
Yeah,
it.
my
Oh.
mother used to make those all the time, the pork things, and they're kind of they're all it's like basically fat, crispy fat.
Well, I don't know, but Tracy's got Roy drooling over the food she likes. He says it coming right over. I don't know. So far, what I've heard is not making me drool, but then again, I would try almost anything if I didn't know what it was. So,
Cheryl says she made meatloaf, homemade mac and cheese, and berry pie. Sounds good to me.
yeah, Walter makes. Do you make your meatloaf in a loaf pan, or Walter makes his as a log? He makes it round ish.
And berry pie. Yeah, I like pies. I've always made pies. I like pies.
Yes. Oh, I love pies too, but you don't make enough of them.
Yeah, I know.
I love
'Cause
pie.
they're hip.
I like pie, not poo. Anyways, we're like,
Bonnie says she makes a log.
oh, you can do a log too. Okay. It must be, my mother always put it in a pan. I don't know. So people, that was only a few of the questions I had planned to ask today. So guess what? We have a part 2 in this. And just to give you a heads up, we'll be talking about what you do for travel, where you've been. We talk about favorite foods. About your favorite spots in the world, what you're reading, what you're watching, and one question you might want to consider: if Walter and I came to visit you, how would you entertain us? Yes, I want you to think about that. That's your homework this week, people. How would you entertain Walter and I if we ever dropped into your place? And yeah, so that'll be second part. Now, next week, I'm not sure. Right now, my gut reaction is we probably aren't going to do a live. And why is that? It's because on Thursday morning, I'm leaving for a 4-day sewing retreat at a place that's...
Hooray!
Yeah. He can't wait. He'll be running amok around the house, half naked, eating beets out of a can and sucking... What was the other thing you were going to eat? I don't know.
Mud rice.
So anyways, I'm not sure what time I'll get home from that on the Sunday. It's always usually after lunch, and it's about a 2-hour drive away from here, maybe a little less than that. And Walter has to pick me up because he's going to take me as well because he has to drive Miss Daisy. So I don't know. And I have a feeling I will be full of all kinds of stories to tell you because there are 30 some women going to this and me. Okay? So you know there's going to be stories from that if I can keep my sanity. And some would say that I've lost that a long time ago. But ever. So, best I can say is just see if something pops up. I was going to say watch for the notifications, but you know, some people don't get the notifications, right? Like Tracy, she doesn't get the notifications for some reason. So anyways, next week's up in the air. So that's the best I can tell you. Bonnie says, you go, Walter. Yeah, Roy says, one lady that means. Oh, Roy, just got it. Okay. Chris says, I don't mind if the live is later. Better for us on this side of the world. True. So we'll have to see. I could come home completely exhausted, or I could come home completely pissed off, or I could come home with 50,000 quilts done and lots of things to show you. I have no idea what it's going to bring. So we'll just play it by ear. But your homework for next week is we'll carry on this discussion, and I want you to seriously think about how you would entertain us if we showed up on your doorstep to spend time with you. Hey, we should make this a contest. The winner gets us. Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that be a torture for some people? Okay, people. So that's it for today. We learned a lot more about you, and I hope you did too. I think that was kind of fun, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that for today, something a little different, and we'll see you either next week or for sure the week after. So have a good week, everybody, and tune into my vlog tomorrow if you get a chance once it goes on air, and we'll see you soon. So talk to you all later. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, bye-bye.